Yes, good morning all. Very warm welcome. Real pleasure to be hosting for you again today here at Laptop Monday virtually. You find me here at my digital village. I'm just going to do a 2-second plug, if I may, Mark, just to say Easter weekend is fast approaching. So it's not this weekend, it's next. Yes, we're going to lose an hour's sleep this weekend, but the following weekend we can enjoy all of that weekend, Friday and Saturday at my digital village, and I would very much look forward to seeing you there. We've got a farmer's market on the Friday and an Easter fair on the Saturday. But over to you, young man. I'm going to leave you two to have your conversation, and thank you very much for being a part of it.
Thank you for hosting us. I assume you are going to hit the record button, or you have already?
I've already done that, sir.
Fantastic. I look forward to receiving the recording in due course. And for those of you who are watching the recording, thank you for watching. For those of you who are in the room, thank you for being here. I can tell those who are watching the recording, it's much, much better if you're actually in the room. This bit is pretty much the same because everybody's just watching this, but the rest of it, the conversations that we have around business and not business, are generally worth having. There's another man on my screen, and you know what? He's wearing a yellow shirt, and we will undoubtedly talk about why he's wearing a yellow shirt because it has some relevance to the topic of the day. Let me welcome Lawrence Wood of Wycomedia to today's presentation. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you very much, Mark. It's a pleasure to be here as always.
Good. It's a pleasure to have you as always. In theory, this is a 10-minute thing, and it's not a 10-minute presentation. We're going to have a conversation. The marketing, which I'm just looking at here, says we're going to be talking about memory hooks. What are they? How can you use them? When should you use them? That's what it says here. And it also says the man in the yellow shirt. So you were doing a very good job of reminding us that you're the man in the yellow shirt. So clearly, when we're talking about memory hooks, we're talking about in the world of business. So what I want to know from you first off, and maybe we should have prepped this, who knows, but I know that you don't need any prep, you're a professional. So what I want to know first off is what actually is a memory hook, if you can just go right back to basics, and why are they important, and how, as it says here, how can I use them, when can I use them in business?
Okay, so a memory hook is something that makes it really easy for people not just to remember a piece of information, but actually to log or to store information. So if you imagine you've got a whole lot of information you need to put onto your computer, you don't just whack it all openly into the C drive. You normally create a file that you're going to put that information in, and you'd name the file. So when you need to find it later on, if I'm doing some work for you, Mark, I don't just bung a load of documents up onto the hard drive or onto my OneDrive. I will put them in a folder labeled Mark Harris so I can go back and find them easily. And that's what memory hooks really help you to do for your audience, for your potential clients, potential customers. Maybe it's for your network of business contacts that you want to make referrals to. Those memory hooks give people an identifying marker, a way to remember a lot more information. They can unlock a lot more information just because they can basically boil that information down to one thing that is like the key to unlocking everything that they remember about you. So a memory hook, some people see them as just a gimmicky way to sell a product or something, but actually there's a lot more depth to them than that if they're used well.
Okay, I understand and agree with all of that. So where does your yellow shirt fit with that?
Okay, so my yellow shirt, it says everything about me and my personal brand. I speak a lot about personal brand, which is something that I support clients with. And yellow is the dominant color within my personal brand. I have a 5-word concept that I've spoken about a lot before as well. But in essence, I want people to know that I am a cheerful, confident communicator and an inspiring leader. And this color, yellow, says cheerful and confident. So that's why I use it. That's why I wear the yellow shirt. It's a very memorable color. It's not something that you see every day, or you might see it every day, but you don't see it used perhaps as boldly as I use it. So it is easy for people to remember me. But if you've been to any of those networking events that I've been to, where I've spoken about any of those things I've just said about personal brand, about 5-word concept, when you leave the event, it's a hook for people to think back and go, that guy in the yellow shirt that was speaking at the event, because that's the bit that they remember. What was it he was speaking about? Oh yeah, he was wearing the yellow shirt because that's part of his personal brand. That's right. And he had some words linked to his personal brand. Cheerful, definitely cheerful. And they might get confident or something out of that as well. So it acts as that catalyst to help people remember more about me. And that's why I wear a yellow shirt. It's why I use yellow a lot in my branding, in my logo. And if someone were to take a picture of me at a business event, I would really like to have some other yellow things in there. Or if I'm writing a story, I might describe certain things like warm sunshine shining down today, which it is. It's a lovely, bright, sunshiny day. And that's something that people would associate with yellow as well. So there's lots of ways that you can link into it. And that's why I wear the shirt.
And that makes a lot of sense. So I have right behind me a banner with my logo on it. That's not a memory hook. That's a slap in the face that says, this is my brand.
Yeah.
And sometimes I look at it myself and go, really? Am I that in people's faces? I could be the man in the black shirt or the blue shirt, whatever. But as you said, yellow is hugely different. But the yellow shirt, the thing that I find really interesting is the yellow shirt in itself has nothing to do with your business. You don't sell shirts. You don't sell anything that's yellow. It's about that chain of memory hooks that you mentioned. I hate talking with my hands when my hands are off camera, but hey, it's that chain of memories and triggers and synapses that you mentioned that lead me to the fact that you do this, this, and this for a living. And it just keeps you every time, and it is rare, but every time I see somebody else in a yellow shirt, it's, oh, but that's not Lawrence.
Yeah, and so the reason that I wear it, even though, I don't sell shirts, I'm not about that, but we navigate the world in images before we navigate it in text or anything else. We navigate in images. And just very quickly, if I said to you, I need to go and speak to a bank, and I'm going to go to a bank that's got a blue eagle on a silver background, which bank am I going to?
Oh, is that Barclays?
Barclays. Or if I want to go to a bank with a black horse on a green background, which one am I going to?
That's Lloyd's.
Yeah, there you go. So you can navigate the world.
Stop there, please, because I'm going to get the third one wrong.
Well, no, but I'll just say, so we navigate the world in images. And when you're walking down the high street, if you know you're looking for Lloyd's and you're looking up ahead of you, you're not looking for a big sign sticking out the side of a wall that says Lloyd's. You're looking for a small sign that's green with a black horse on it. And, I know that's where I need to go. If you're in another country and you need a pharmacy, you look for a green cross because that means that's a pharmacy pretty much anywhere that you go. So we navigate the world in images, and by choosing yellow shirt as one of my memory hooks, it forms part of my image, which makes me more instantly recognizable. But there's other ways that you can tap into that. So when I was posting a lot of quotes on LinkedIn a little while ago, my low light color that I use is a dark gray. But rather than just using a dark gray background, a very flat background, I went and found a picture of some gray cloth that had a real texture to it. So it's, again, something that makes it more instantly recognizable. As soon as someone is scrolling through their feed, they're scrolling a little bit fast, but they see yellow and they see that gray cloth and they go, I know that's Lawrence. And then that either makes them want to scroll on further past or make them stop and go, what are you saying today? But it's something that's instantly recognizable. And this feeds... visual sense is one of your main tools to trigger data recall. So you've got your emotional memory, you've got your sense memory, and you've got your data recall memory. And sense and emotion memory are brilliant for unlocking data that you wouldn't otherwise necessarily remember. So we all know how powerful smell is as a memory trigger. That you walk in somewhere and you'll smell a smell, maybe it's a perfume or something, and it makes you think of someone that you haven't thought of in years, and suddenly you get this whole huge wealth of flashbacks to that person or to those memories. And so when you're thinking about memory hooks, try and find hooks that tie into people's senses, because they are the ones that will unlock the data recall much better than just a phrase or a sentence that says, you know, we do personal branding. Great, that's a sentence. But actually having the yellow shirt and that linking back to what I'm talking about makes it easier to remember what I do. It's not just smell or visual either. If I were to whistle and then say what's the 2 words that come after that?
Yeah, I've forgotten.
Under the golden arches.
Oh yes, that one. Yes, because I don't go there as a rule. It doesn't fit with my dietary regime. So hey,
so for those who are playing along in McDonald's and they have the little whistle before saying "I'm loving it." Now, why? Another thing is, why would they have a whistle? Why not trumpets or a guitar or drums? It's because everybody, or almost everybody, can whistle. So it becomes a thing, like its own kind of catchphrase that people then pass around.
Yeah. I've got so many other questions I want to ask you, but it's supposed to be a 10-minute thing and we're as good as there. Let me just finish with one question, because everybody in the room, I'm just thinking about all the different people who are here on Laptop Monday today. Everybody's got a logo. Everybody's got a marketing tagline. So those things, you know, your black horse is taken care of, but not everybody has a yellow shirt or their own memory hook. If everybody in the room says, okay, and everybody watching the video says, okay, I'm going to have one, how do you start to say what that is? Or is the answer they come to you and get some help?
By all means, come to me and get some help. But straight away, yes, everyone has a logo, but there's you know, as with many things in life, there's a phrase amongst brand specialists, which is it takes a day to create a logo, it takes months to build a brand. And if you don't know why you've got that logo, you don't know why you've picked the color for it, you know, I could challenge you and say, why did you pick those 2 shades of blue for your logo, Mark? I won't right now, but you should have put some thought into that. What is it that you want those colors to say about you? When you're doing the logo style, what is it that you want the logo to say about you visually, not just the name of your brand? And then with all of these other things, with all these other memory hooks, a great way to start is by finding something core, something that you can build those memory hooks around. So you don't just have one hook. You can have multiple hooks that work in different contexts, in print, in word of mouth, through sensory stimulation, but they link back to a core thing. So that could be a story that you tell people, or it could be your reason for why you work. I'm forever talking about my daughters being my motivation for working, because that becomes a memory hook. But you know, there's so many different things you can do. The old phrase, make them laugh, make them cry. Do something funny. I loved one of my favorite things ever was Durex did an advert in 2012, and they just said the end is coming, and then a packet of Durex underneath. Slightly crude, very funny, something that people remember. I mean, Durex with their advertising are spot on. You should Google Durex, because they have some wonderful catchy little memory hooks in their advertising. But you can pull at people's heartstrings. So Burger King had a day where they sent all of their customers in Argentina to McDonald's, because McDonald's have a day when they raise a lot of money for charity called McHappy Day, and Burger King managed to get into that by sending their customers to McDonald's. A very clever memory hook that they then put with that was an image of the Burger King and Ronald McDonald holding hands. And they put it up as a poster. You know, that image will stick in people's minds. Use stories, have a story that you can build yourself around. Think about some clever language. You might be able to borrow a quote from someone, and that becomes one of your memory hooks. You might be able to parody something. There was a dentist who said, I believe in the tooth, the whole tooth, and nothing but the tooth. You know, parody something that people already know well. About alliteration, rhyming, using melodic language, because people remember a limerick much more easily than they'll remember 5 lines of just ordinary text. There's so many things you can do, but the most important thing is to make sure that they relate back to your business. They relate back to you and some key piece of information that you want to get out there to people.
There's a lady I know called Sue, who's a photographer, and at every networking meeting she went to, she would say, "My name's Sue, what do I do?" And everybody in the room who knew her, because she was a prolific networker, would say, "You shoot people."
Yeah. So that's
And
a cool.
everybody in the room who didn't know her was mortified to not be in on the joke. And the next time they said, "You shoot people." And when they wanted someone who shoots people as a photographer, who came into their heads? So, yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what, Lawrence? We have evidence from our prior podcasts and radio shows and whatever else that we can easily talk for an hour, and we're already well over our 10 minutes. So I'm going to draw a line there. If people do want to know more about memory hooks, your offer to talk to them isn't a glib statement, it's an offer. So please do get in touch with Lawrence. If you're watching a recording, if you're in the room now, talk to him afterwards. If you're watching a recording of this, I'll make sure that some contact details for him are wherever you are watching this recording. Lawrence Wood of Wycomedia, as always, thank you so much. It's been really good.
It's been a real pleasure. Thank you, Mark.
Good. It's been my pleasure at all. I'm Mark Harris of Enterprise. Oh, wrong side. Enterprise Doctor. I hate it when the image is reversed. So I am Mark Harris of Enterprise Doctor, and this is Laptop Monday. And if you want to come along sometime and join us, then please do.